Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to create the actual ABM missile and fire it from our gun. So let's get started. Just like before when we made the ABM installation itself, I'm going to pull up a cylinder and a cone and just place these right about there. It's a bit large, we're gonna fix that later. And again, click on the blueprint button and then convert selected components to blueprint class. It can go right next to the ABM installation, and let's call it BP ABM. So here we are. Let's start by renaming. So this is the base. And this is the warhead, I suppose. And let's reset the transform to the center and make it a little smaller. And this one as well. Let's see. Oh, it's a little skewed. Like this. This looks much better. Okay, so now we can place this in the world, and when we press play, nothing happens. So what's up? Well, there's no behavior defined for this object, so we're gonna add it. In fact, I'm gonna make it a little smaller first. And there is a component in Unreal Engine which does what we want. It's called projectile movement. And when we edit properties over here on the right, we can set the initial speed to say 300 and the gravity to 0, because we don't want to bother with gravity. And now when we press play, it's moving, but it's moving in the wrong direction. And this is because, as before with the red arrow I showed you, the red arrow is in fact pointing in that direction. So what we need to do is we need to rotate this and this one, and then properly place it on there. See if I got it right. It's a little difficult to see. Maybe just set this to 0, this to 37. Looks good. And now when we press play, I rotated it wrong. Let's test it first. Yes, now it's moving in the direction the missile is pointing. So again, set this to 37, 0, 0. Test it again. Yes, now it's working. And let's rotate it over here. And now it should be moving up like we want. So what do we need to do to get this missile to spawn when we click? First of all, we go back to the project settings. So click on settings, project settings. Then we're going to add a input action. And this is basically like a description of when you click on the mouse or something, you perform a certain action. So I added an action mapping, I called it shoot, and I'm going to select the left mouse button, but if I wanted to, I could, for instance, also use enter or space or whatever I wanted to shoot. I'm going to keep this open over here, and now I'm going back to my ABM installation to the event graph. And then I can right click and I can add an event, just like the tick event. I'm going to search for shoot, and at the moment shoot is pressed, I'm going to spawn actor from class. Now what do we have here? We have a class, so we can select the BP ABM. The next thing we need is a transform. And for this I'm going to create an extra component, which is just an empty component with a location only. It's called scene, and I'm going to attach it to the barrel. I'm going to rename it to missile spawn. So when we spawn the actor, we're going to get the transform of the actor, and set it to the missile on spawning. And now when we go to play and click, I see it's working, but the missiles are going down. So what's going on here? Let's go to the viewport of the ABM installation, and I forgot to set this properly, and now I need to rotate it upwards, so the red arrow is pointing upwards. And now when I shoot, you can see the missiles are coming out over there. But there's a problem. When I press F8 to eject, I can move the camera freely, and when I look up, all the missiles are just infinitely going up and they're never getting destroyed. So you can imagine that this is a problem. So to fix this, we need to, let's remove this one first, to track in the missile where the original target was. So we can add a variable and call it target. And over here on the right, we can change the type to a vector. This is just the world location. And then I can make it public, so I can edit it from anywhere. And now when I go here to the event graph and set target, I see I can set the target from here after I spawn it, and I just need to get this world location we calculated over here. I could copy and paste this and put it up here, but I don't like to do that because I don't like copy and pasting the same stuff, and when you need to change one thing, you need to change it in multiple places. So with everything selected, I right mouse click and I say collapse to function, and I put the function over there, and then I can call it get mouse world location. It's quite a descriptive name, pretty good if you ask me. Then I notice I have execution lines, and in this case I don't need those because there is only one execution line here. There is not really execution going on. I can change this to a pure function, and then just like with the other things which are also pure functions, you can see I don't need to drag the white line down there. Now when I compile, save, everything compiles. Now I'm simply going to copy this and drag it over there, And now my ABM has got a target assigned. So what are we going to do with the target? Let's go to the event graph of the ABM. And on the tick, I will first of all show you how to draw a debug line from our location. So search for actor location towards the target, which is set after spawning. I will change the line color to a good visible red. Change the thickness to like 3 pixels. And then I will play. And now you can see my missiles are drawing lines. But they're still just going infinitely upwards. And in fact, they are all on a little different path, which is something we need to take a look at as well. So escape again and go to the ABM. On the event graph, on the tick, we are going to check whether we are close to the target location. So I'm going to copy these over, Control C, Control V, and from the actor location I'm going to see if this vector equals another vector, and this is the tolerance, and 10 centimeters is fine because I want to explode in the vicinity of where I aimed. Gonna draw off here, create an if branch. So this means that when the execution is going through here, it's gonna check whether the actor is close to the other one, to the target. And when it's true, I'm going to destroy myself, destroy the actor. Let's see if this works. So play. And it works. But we still had the problem we noticed earlier, that they're all slightly on a different path. So I'm going to fix that next. And it's got to do with how we calculate the mouse world location. Because if we go to the viewport of the ABM installation and go to the camera, and we are pointing somewhere over here, and we extend the line there, what we're gonna get is like a great circle. Let me show you. So I'm just, you don't need to repeat this, this is just for showing. I'm going to add a square. I'm going to set it to the camera, right about there. And then I'm going to increase the size in all directions. So this is what we're effectively doing. When we extend the line, we're just creating a huge circle. And there's a simple fix for this. We just need to make sure that the line we're extending on this side is just set to this plane over here. And we can do that by simply, on our get mouse world location, I'm going to break the link to vector plus vector with the right mouse button, and then right mouse button again, split the struct pin, and then again over here, split the struct pin, and I want the X to always be 0. So I'm just going to drag over the Y and Z and then play. And now you can see it looks much better. So this is also a demonstration of why you would not have wanted to copy this code over but create a function instead. Because now we only need to change this over here on one place and not on any other. So this concludes the video, and I'll see you next time.